Hello, chat. Dan VR. The other day I was talking on stream with my viewers. We were going over verse 2, where we think the direction of PvP is going, if we're happy with the game. And we got into the topic of Shrine of Order, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, I like Shrine of Order. It let you have a lot more build variety. It changed the game. You can make a lot more builds now. And the more we talked about it, and the more I thought about it, I sort of came to my own conclusion. And I would argue that because of Shrine of Order, there's less build variety than ever. And let me explain that. I would say build variety comes from, there being a variety of builds you can play and make. In verse 1, without Shrine of Order, if you made a Dead Gods build, that was the whole point of your build. You were it. You had Dead Gods, that was the build. If you went main agility focus and you have Tap Dancer and Cheap Shot, you're an agility build. That's your focus. If you went to get reinforced armor, you have the Fortitude talents, really tanky. That's the purpose of your build. So you had all of these really cool, unique builds. If you wanted to have I want to do a willpower blind seer, or I want to do felon or agility. You have all of these different builds you can make, and all of these different builds with their own special strengths and weaknesses. Now, however, because of Shrine of Order, even though we have access to getting more of those cool talents, you're just jamming them into a singular build. So previously, when you might have seen 10 or 11 builds that all did their own special thing, they all had their own build-defining talents, strengths, and weaknesses, now that's been condensed into maybe 3 builds because you can get so many different things. If you're making a build, let's say just Dead Gods, well, you can use the Light's Final Toll, so you don't really need to worry about weapon stat. Hell, you could really go no attunement if you wanted and just rely on your no attunement mantras, monster mantras, and all that. So now you can get Million Ton Piercer, and you can get the willpower talents, and you not Million Ton Piercer, reinforced armor, and you can get Dead Gods, and all the willpower, and you could probably get Tap Dancer. Do a little more, you can get Cheap Shot. Previously, what would have resulted in there being multiple different builds that are running around doing their own special thing, now you can use the Shrine of Order and just condense that all into one build. And honestly, I think that's more harmful than anything to the game. In a game that was supposed to be all about making builds and experimenting and being unique, no one progression is the same. Now every progression is the same. It might be a little different in terms of how you actually get to power 1 to 20, and then the process of min-maxing. You might go a different route, maybe a different origin, but ultimately you're going to get the same talents, the same stats, the same gear. You're all ending up in the same place. There's less variety than ever. And honestly, it's because of Shrine of Order. Oh my god, you can make fun, cool builds, but at what cost? Because eventually you get to the point where we're at now, where people played around with Shrine of Order and really min-maxed the game, and you can make some builds that should have never existed. There's some builds that have so many different build-defining, incredibly powerful talents that it's kind of this isn't even fair.